Good afternoon, friends, or whatever time you're watching this. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a lot of kitchen prep motivation type stuff. I started it early in the morning. That's just typically what I do anyways, but especially right now when it's hot, I want to heat up the house as little as possible. So I like to get started as early as possible. So with that being said, I would have been sounding like Kermit the Frog if I was trying to talk first thing. And I figured I could get more done, sailed better if I just did a voiceover. Excuse me. So that's what we're going to do. I'm starting out this video making some maple oat bread. I can't link the recipe because it is from a book, but I will try to find one very similar, and if I can, I will add that to the description box below. You'll see how the bread turns out. I definitely need to remake it. I'll just say that for now. You'll find out why later on. But yeah, I will try to find one down below. Now, this wasn't a bread machine bread. I don't think that was the problem I had with it. But yeah, I did turn it into a bread machine dough. And something else we're going to do, as you can see right here, we had an abundance of zucchini, squash, whatever. I use them interchangeably. And I kept hearing something about mock apple pie filling. So I thought, you know what, we're going to try it. So that's what we did. That's what we're working on. Excuse me. That's what we're working on right now. I needed 10 cups of squash for the recipe. So cut up 10 cups of squash. My big bowl there is only 8, so I measured to 8, and then I added 2 more cups in there. Then we make like an apple juice mixture. That's where the apple comes in. You know, squash is a very, can I say tasteless? Almost tasteless. You can do pretty much a lot of things. That was weird. You can do a lot with squash. But yeah, I wanted to give this a try. I figured it couldn't hurt anything to try it. Well, so that's what we did. But I will have this recipe linked down below. I'm pretty sure I added 2 recipes together. What I did was I followed one, but then I added cornstarch and lemon juice that a different recipe called for. So it's pretty much the same. I just changed it just a little bit. And it's obviously too early for me to be doing a voiceover today, but I will have that recipe linked down below if you're into canning and all of that. I've said it before. I promise I'll say it again. I am far from expert. I'm not even a novice. Is that what, like, when you're just learning? I don't know. What I'm trying to say is I'm not good at canning. I definitely do not give canning advice, so don't come to me for that. Like I said in a different video, if you have some questions, I will be happy to try to answer them. I will help you Google. But I'm not great at canning. It's something I just really jumped into this year, so I don't share canning advice. I'm just sharing canning experience. So that's what we're doing. We're going to get these ready to go here, and then we're going to jump into whatever task is next. But I did want to just jump in here and start out the video. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you get some sort of motivation or inspiration, or just maybe you just want to relax here with us for a while. I hope that you are having a great evening, if that's what it is when you're watching this, and that you are doing fantastically. If you are not part of our family and you enjoy watching, make sure you hit that red subscribe button down below. It just helps our little channel out here. You can also hit the thumbs up, leave a comment, all of that things that lets YouTube know that maybe I'm doing something right over here. According to this bread, I'm not sure about that, but you know, we're going to see. Typically, I will add extra flour when I'm making bread, and I do for the second loaf. Which I wanted to see if I could tell a difference. I shouldn't have done that because I changed the way I prepare it, so it's not a fair trial. However, I think it was a YouTube short or something that was talking about sometimes people add too much flour when they're kneading it, and so it kind of messes with the rise of the bread. I found a way to mess it up on my own, by the way. So instead of using more flour, it suggested that you just wet your hands a little bit and go that route. That's what we did. It was sticky, but it was manageable. As you can see there, it's not going in as prettily. We're using that word that I think I made up again. It doesn't go in as good and as appealing as it does if you use flour, but I'm sure that it was still fine. I can't fully justify or, you know, argue that it was just the same, because you'll see mine had a little bit of issues, self-imposed issues. I take full responsibility. But yeah, as you can see, like the outside here is much prettier and smoother on this one. We're going to try it again very soon, and I'll let you know. But I did see where it said, you know, just use wet hands instead of floured hands. And just slap it around a little bit, and it makes it more dense and workable. I don't know. I'm going to say it was a win. I just failed it. So as you can see, these have quite a bit of space here when I'm first pulling them out. And here in a few minutes, we're going to redo it, and I'll share the changes that we made and how those went for us. But we did make 2 batches of the squapple pie filling. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get the chicken going in the crock pot. I'm going to do a double batch of chicken. I'm going to make it just plain in the crock pot. I'll take out half or whatever and make barbecue chicken tonight we're going to have barbecue chicken crescent rolls, like sandwiches. I wasn't going to do that. I was going to do ham and cheese, but then I never got to eat any of those crispy dilly things that I bought a couple of weeks ago in a grocery haul. I never got to eat them on an actual meal of food. Me and Lily just snack on them. They're really good. But I seen those in the cabinet, and I thought, I'm going to do barbecue chicken tonight. That way, I can go ahead and have the chicken done for tomorrow as well. I'm going to make a chicken casserole thing that Kim and Jonathan had told me about. So, I'm just going to double up on the chicken, like I said, whatever I think I need tonight and whatever I think I need tomorrow. That way, the recipe for tomorrow calls for cooked chicken. So, just 2 birds, 1 stone kind of thing. I think that'll be good. When we're eating barbecue chicken on like sandwiches, it takes less than it was if we're just eating it as a side. Main dish. So the only thing I'm going to add to this, because it is going to be 2 different days, 2 different ways. I'm just going to add a little bit of pepper and just a little bit of this Nature's seasoning. This is really good. It smells perfect. Smells so good. Sorry, I slammed the cabinet. And then I was going to add salt, but we'll add just a tiny bit. The Nature seasoning has salt in it. Fairly salty. I think it's by the salt. Yeah. It's by Morton's. So, yeah, salt is the main ingredient. We're going to skip salt, just to be safe. And that's all we're going to do. Easy peasy. Gonna get it cooked on the back porch, of course, and then tonight I'll take out half, put it into a storage bowl or something, and then go ahead and barbecue the rest in here. Yes, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go out and get the bread in just a few minutes. I put the bread out there, put it in the toaster oven. Now, I was skeptical about putting it into the toaster oven, because I was worried that it wouldn't cook it right, or it would, you know, brown the top a little bit too much. And I was like, we're gonna try it. I've never done it. We'll see how it goes. Should have listened to my gut. It did brown the top a little bit more than I would have liked. But when I first put it in there, I set the timer. Set the timer on my watch, because where it is out there, and I can't hear it that well unless I'm standing right here, because I just heard it go off. Went out there when my watch went off, and it was rose, but it was still super raw, and I was like, that's weird. I hadn't pushed the start button to start cooking it, so I had to redo that. It did get a little bit too brown, like I said. I went out, checked it, it needed a few more minutes, so I flipped it, and we're gonna go out. Hopefully it's done. Yeah, next time I'll just start the bread earlier and get it done in the oven indoors, because not worth it. All my pretty work for nothing. I'm sure it'll still taste good, hopefully. But it's just one of those things when I expect something and then I get something else, I'm not a happy camper. So anyways, let's go check the bread, get the chicken out there and get it started, and then we'll get on with whatever else we got to do. Yeah, see, it burnt just a little bit, even this one did. This one, I guess, makes more sense because I did top it with cinnamon sugar. But when I come out to check it the first time and it was raw, it was, you know, nice and puffy. I think I messed with it because of, you know, not starting the oven in time. It's fine. We're going to eat it as long as it don't taste terrible, because I don't want to waste it even if it's not perfect. Not everything in life is perfect. Actually, very few things are. So we're not going to toss this just because it didn't come out what we expected, because if you expect everything to be perfect, you're going to be miserable. You just got to embrace it. We're going to embrace our burnt toasty bread. I'm excited about it nonetheless. Okay, so one of the recipes that I had looked at when I was looking up the zapple or squapple pie filling, it said to, like, I guess, blanch the squash or zucchini for 15 minutes. So that's what we did this round. I also realized that I should have probably poked and prodded in the juice the first go around and tried to get out some of the air bubbles. That was probably an issue as well. But you know, we're learning. That's all that matters. So I did blanch these for 15 minutes, and then I'm just scooping them out. Now I went a little extra here and used the little spoon, the slotted spoon or whatever, when I could have just used like a measuring cup and, you know, added juice and then added more. It would have been fine. But like I said, we're learning, so we don't know what we're doing. We're just trying. This round did turn out better. It didn't float as much. It really irritated me how much the first batch floated. However, once it sat, it did, I guess the squash absorbed more of the liquid kind of, and it did take up more room in the jar. So that made me feel a little bit better about it. And you'll see, I think I recorded it. Goodness, I don't even know. I've had so much going on lately. But I think I recorded me using it for the first recipe, the first go around, and so you'll get to see that later on. If not, I'll follow up.
Set out on the open road, same old place you always used to go when you were younger. Speeding through.
So I decided I'm gonna test out that, I'm calling it squapple pie filling because it's squash and apple. People call it zapple when it's zucchini. Anyways, and I use zucchini and squash interchangeably because they're pretty much the same thing to me. Maybe not to you, but whatever. Anyways, I'm not going to follow the apple crisp recipe, but I found a recipe for apple crisp. I wanted the recipe for the topping, so I'm going to make it. Do I need the entire thing since I'm just doing a small one? I'm going to do half, and if I need to, I can just make the other half. So how about that? Now I got to find the 1/4 cup. So I need half. So I need 1 1/2 of 1/4 cups. And then a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. I think I'm only going to do 1/4 of a cup. Look, I know I can't never follow a recipe. Like, why do I even try to follow a recipe? Because I don't. And then I have quite a bit of the syrup left for the second batch where I cooked it down. I still had a whole cup of the syrup. Anyways, I'm going to use 1/4 of that as the other sugar. And I'm going to go ahead and add what it asked for oats, because of where I did use a liquid in the recipe. If that makes any sense. Like I said, I don't know why I even looked up a recipe. I guess for inspiration. Now, we didn't need this tonight, and I thought about not doing it, but I made 9 jars of the pie filling and really wanted to try it out. Because you never know, I might need to. Might end up making some more, probably not, but you just never know. I'm also just wanting to taste it, like, done. I tasted some of the squash as I was canning it. I ate a few bites. It tastes like apple pie filling to me. sound of sadness right there, opening it as soon as you make it, but it's just part of the process. This is the second batch I made because it is less watery than the first batch. So I want to try it. It's still pretty watery though, which that isn't a problem. You could just drain it when you're going to make a pie with it. It's really good. Alright. Now we're gonna bake this for I don't know how long, at I don't know what temperature. At 350. It says 40 minutes. I'm gonna put mine in for 30 and then check it because it's a little pan. Alright, now I'm gonna go ahead and get out the chicken that I want for tomorrow. And I'm just gonna eyeball it. The recipe I need tomorrow calls for 3 cups. I'm just gonna get out what, you know, that will use like half of that because that's what I usually do. Y'all know if you've been around here that I typically use like half of the meat the recipe calls for.
Try not to break your head off.
Gentle, push it. Want me to do it?
No. She's already rested. We got one.
Alright, so now the last thing for supper, it doesn't go with it, but I want it, so I'm going to make it. Somebody mentioned sauteing squash or zucchini with potatoes, potatoes and onions, and I thought that sounded good, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to try out some of our canned potatoes that I canned last week. So I'm going to drain them because okay, that took longer than I expected it to get them out of the pot thingy. I'm going to start with, and then we'll add more if we need to.
I watch the rain streak down our window. We never dreamed it'd get this bad. Like a fool I assumed our troubles would just dissipate. Why do we wait to change until it's too late? We're a cauldron on the fire, ready to erupt with the blood moon sinking.
I just chopped up just a little bit of fresh basil here.
But it ain't over till it's over. You can cut the darkness with a flame. A single word can bring you closer. Break the silence with a whisper. There comes a swift and gentle aid.
Something that we have been doing quite a bit lately is making homemade popsicles. I have been making these little zombie popsicles with Sprite and gummy worms or gummy bears. However, with their little heads, they get decapitated every time with using the gummies in it. And so we started just using a fruit juice mixture in these. I made these this time, as you'll see that I'm making here, and only used water and a flavor packet because I thought, you know, these would work out really good for the kids. Wasn't a big fan. They was too hard because they didn't have any sugar in them. That's just, I mean, it is what it is. They didn't have sugar in them, so they was really hard to eat. They was really watery, Lily said. So we wasn't a fan of this go round, but they ate them. The next time I made them, I used half of the blue Starburst packet with some Sprite type soda, and they really like those. they didn't decapitate, and they had a good flavor and a good texture, more like a popsicle. And if you notice, during some parts of this video, I have like black paint and stuff on my fingers. That is because I was in the process of painting Wendy's bathroom and working in there as well. I didn't share that because it didn't fit the video, and I just wasn't in the mood for that. I don't know why I decided to include this part, but I just did. Her little toilet paper holder was silver. You can see it there. But I just thought, you know what? I'm going to paint this black. That is something that I enjoy doing, is just taking what I've already got and just doing little things like throwing some paint on it. Makes it look brand new. It changes it, makes it feel brand new. It's a win-win. You pay like, well, $6 because paint's expensive nowadays. But you pay a little bit and you get happy feelings from it. Alright, so the last thing that we're going to do today is the bread that I made, the cinnamon swirl. That's not a swirl. It wasn't cinnamon. Or did I put cinnamon in it? Anyways, it tastes really good. However, it just wasn't pretty. So I'm going to experiment with this. I cut it up and dried it out a little bit. I left it sitting out for a couple hours. And then as I was preheating the oven, I put it in the oven for about 5 minutes. I wanted it to be kind of toasty, but still soft. I'm Alton Brown. He used to have a cooking show on the Food Network. And he said, if you're going to make the best French toast, to leave it out overnight. But I just toasted it a little bit. So we're just going to make that into some freezer French toast. I got to get my eggs going. And it'll help us. It'll also help use up some of this abundance of eggs that we have right here. So I have the griddle preheating back here. I got me a napkin to lay my egg shells out on and dry them off, because that's what I like to do. I'm not sure how many this will take, so. The ends and the scraps got took out. Okay, so I went ahead and cut the pieces into like sticks. I forgot I was going to cut them down the middle and make like little bites, I guess, instead of sticks, but I forgot, so it's fine. Maybe I need to turn this heat down. Oh, it's okay. The bread is dense this way, and it's supposed to not soak up as much. Like, it's not supposed to get, I guess gooey would be the right word. I don't know. I've done it for years, most of the time. Like, I do go through phases of where I'm like, it's not worth the extra work, because if I'm just making it last minute, I will throw it in the toaster or the oven for a few minutes. But I don't know. John and Nolan used to eat French toast sticks all the time, like the ones you buy from Walmart or whatever, and they really like them, and so that's what inspired me to make this. I thought this would be a good quick breakfast. You know, not quick now. Right now we're putting in the work. It'll be quick later when it's time to actually eat it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and flip them. With not having the heat too high, it made it more manageable to get them all on there. I was a little worried about it, not gonna lie, but it worked out. So I'm gonna turn it back up just a little bit now, since I can watch it better, and I'm here to flip. So I did put it on the parchment paper thing, just because I don't want to have to clean up a ton of sugar. Everybody knows when you're working in the kitchen, you got enough to clean up without adding more to it. So I think it's all just falling off. Yeah, so we're not going to worry about both sides. Alright, I'm going to let this cool completely, then I'll put it on the parchment sheet, freeze it completely, and then I'll put it in a freezer bag. But I probably ain't gonna include that part, just in case I don't. Now you know what to do. That French toast sticks. I made them, let them cool. Now I'm gonna freeze them and then put them in a baggie. You know? What's it for? People's mouth. I wanted to use that ugly but delicious loaf of bread. I figured it would be a good way to use it, you know? With that, that's going to be it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed hanging out with us. If you haven't subscribed, make sure that you do that down below. We really appreciate and love you guys. As always, remember to show grace, be content, and live blessed. Bye, friends.